Okay, that was weird. I was literally started recording the video and it only went for 14 minutes and then shut off all by itself. So somebody doesn't want you to know this. We started the reading with me talking about the parable of the elephant. It's about how, as a baby, the elephant was tied up to a rope and it kept trying and failing to escape from the rope. And it had tried and failed so many times that by the time it was an adult, it just stopped trying to escape because it had learned helplessness. And then I pulled charms. And the story talks about limiting thoughts and beliefs, or past experiences getting in the way of reaching your full potential, essentially. I pulled charms. We got 2 elephants, a feather, a sword, wheat, Virgo, Capricorn, a Celtic knot, the death moth, a heart, a rose, a sun, or a sun and moon. Interesting. I said a moon and a star is what I meant to say. 2 rabbits, the word peace, the word good, a hashtag or like a number symbol, the letter N, O, H, Q, and U. Then I went to pulling cards. The first card that came out was the Spider Woman, which talks about 222, which talks about building a web and letting something come to you, right? The spider doesn't go out and hunt for its prey. It sits back, it creates a web, it sits back, and it lets its prey come to them. That was weird. My camera didn't want to focus either for a second. Something weird is going on, you guys. Hold on. Somebody does not want this message to be out. I don't know what the deal is, but the camera's already stopped once, and now it's was acting like it didn't want to focus. I'm so confused. What is happening? And then I read, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Priestess of Innocence. And under that is the Witch, okay? And this does not even want to light either. Y'all, what? My Palo Santos does not want to light. And it lit just fine when I cleared my own energy, the card's energy, and all of that before I started the reading. Now all of a sudden it doesn't want to light. At all. Okay. There's some, at least. I don't know what's going on with this. It was fine a minute ago. Okay. Let's try this again. This is weird, y'all. Super weird. The Priestess of Innocence. Of Original Innocence. Also, this is at card number 8. Even though much thought has gone into convincing you of your original sin as a means of keeping you small and disempowered, It's innocence that keeps pace with you, like an invisible companion, hoping someday to be noticed and loved. Original innocence is your birthright. All you have to do is look at a newborn to understand this. We don't love the baby because of what it has accomplished. And we don't shame the baby for making messes or being loud or inconveniencing us. The child is treasure, as is. Nothing but beingness is required. A witch knows her innocence is her most foundational nature and indulges the arms of that gentle awareness around her, holding her in its loving embrace. Now is the time to let go of any shaming thoughts, anguished should-haves, or weighty doubts. You're being asked to transform the perpetual thought, what is wrong with me, into what is in the way of me experiencing my innocence right now. You are treasure, as is. Wrap that truth around you in this moment. Yeah, the Five of Wands. Conflict was at the bottom of the deck. The life map in the Wheel of Fortune. What the heck? What does the viewer need to know, Spirit? The Six of Embers and the Six of Wands, moving to calmer waters. See how they're going on a journey. What else? The Ace of Trees or the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, there's your growth. And there's the doorway. Yeah, you need to walk through this doorway, whatever that looks like for you, whatever that means. Six of Cups under that. It's nostalgia. That's the past. Walking through the doorway to the past? We're going to clarify this in a second. Right. No, that makes sense. Walking through the doorway to your past to understand what past limiting beliefs is keeping you from living in this original innocence, right? Okay. It's like, yes. So it could have been a past experience. It could have been, you know, some kind of other limiting belief that has kept you from seeing the truth. What else do they need to know, Spirit? We gotta switch decks. Hold on. The Phoenix and the World. 10, as I said that. Yeah. That's the key to your transformation. What else can we tell them? Page of Wands. And a spark. A new idea. New inspiration. About the Ten of Pentacles. Judgment's here at the bottom of the deck, too. What else do they need to know? Yeah, this is like, okay, I keep being drawn to the fact that this looks like a child. So it's like the answer is with your inner child. Or something, some belief or something that you picked up when you were really young. What else do they need to know? Four of Wands. Something in the home. Family. Yeah, a loss with the Five of Cups. I'm hearing there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to change a thing. The world can change its heart. Yeah. And the Celestial Weaver under that. With Judgment again. The Celestial Weaver is actually a card that is unique to this deck. Yeah, the Five of Cups is a loss. What else can we tell them? The Four of Swords. Let's rest. meditation even. The Hanged Man. Seeing something from a different perspective. And the Hermit is under that too. And Strength. Yeah, see, it's like you have to see something from a different point of view or a different perspective. Meditation. Going inward. The Hermit goes inward. Yeah, because you have to. You have to go back to the past. Even if it's painful. Because what you're going to find there, and it will take strength, but what you're going to find there is going to help you move forward. It may not even be all the way back to your childhood. Probably for some of you, but not for all of you. It may just be an experience that happened, I don't know, like whatever age, a pivotal or a major experience that happened to you. How were you perceiving it? And can you perceive it differently? Can you perceive it in a more of a, I want to say, empowering sense? Like, deal with it first, how you remember it, right? If you need to feel it, cry it out, be angry about it, whatever it is. Healthily, of course. Don't cause harm to yourself or others, obviously. But once you understand it for what it was for you, then you can try to look for the lesson in that. What can you learn from that experience? How can you reframe it to work for you instead of against you? That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Oh, we need to leave that out. And that. Okay, what else do they need to know? Can we get an oracle maybe? Yeah, programmed helplessness. Learned helplessness. Where did you pick that up? Where did you first encounter the feeling of being not good enough, or something being wrong with you? Because I guarantee that didn't even come from you. Especially if it was something childhood related. Yeah, the burrow, 25, which is a 7. Exhaustion, questioning motivations, and realignment. That's the 4 swords energy. Trying to understand yourself. Realignment. You can change it. Beloved at the bottom. Love, reciprocity, and intertwinement. And there's your portal. Originality, idealism, and progression. Yeah, restore and replenish at the bottom of the deck. You see the similarity of these two images? Okay. What else can we tell them? Can we get a healing message for them, please? Collaborative dreaming. With softly, softly, the tender touch at the bottom. See how she's crying? I've actually never read this card. Collaborative dreaming. It's a beautiful card. Let me grab the book for this. It's kind of a shorter message. Hold on, y'all. Let me grab a drink. Okay. It says, your heart is big enough to dream, not only for yourself, but for a new humanity. Imagine a world that is healed with respect, understanding, and with community that fosters life. Even your dreams that relate to you alone will contribute positively to the greater good because that is the nature of your heart. Your heart naturally and intelligently cooperates in a grand scheme of loving creativity, working to heal the hearts of the world. The heart creates win-win situations that benefit the individual and the collective. You are being asked to honor your growing desire to co-create with conscious, like-minded people. Your collaborative dreaming is a heart-inspired win-win, bringing mutual enchantment to yourself and others. The heart wants to love and be loved. Working with others creatively is a way to allow the heart to grow. It is a chance for you to learn how to honor yourself and others and to find ways to live and let live, simply by growing and strengthening your active trust in your heart's guidance. You are asked to bear the rough patches that can happen when you work creatively with others. Ideas might clash and there can be friction, particularly if you have different ways of working. Sometimes big dreams need more fire to ignite them into reality. More fire might require more friction along the creative path. It is not meant to be a permanent condition, just an aspect of the creative process from which you can learn something useful if you wish. Your guidance is to embrace any experiences of friction or tension within yourself or as you work with another, with compassion, detachment, and tolerance. Creative endeavors, particularly involving groups, can bring up unresolved issues about being valued, heard, and capable. They can also trigger disputes about taking responsibility or inflame insecurities about being cast into unfamiliar roles of leadership or of having to follow. This might happen for you, for others, or for all involved. The stronger the creative energy that flows, the more likely that triggering will take place. It is the nature of creative energy to move in all directions. It doesn't just want to grow one project. Everything that comes into contact with it will grow. That means that the art and the artists are in the process of creation. This can be smooth, but it is more likely to be rough sailing, at least at times. This is not a sign that something isn't working. Far from it. It is more usually a sign that growth is happening and you are feeling the growing pains. This oracle is guiding you to stay in your integrity, honor what you feel, and remember why you chose to open up to group endeavors in the first place, especially if the group involvement becomes complex or challenging. Call on unconditional love each day and evening. It only takes a moment to do. I call on unconditional love. Please help and guide me on and this project. You are going through this experience or will be in the near future because you are part of a new creative learning program for humanity. This learning program is taking place at a spiritual level, and it requires highly individualistic and creative people to learn to work with each other without compromising who they are, in order to reach a common creative goal. This is beautiful. It is wonderful, important, and challenging creative and spiritual work. You need a strong sense of self to be able to engage in the process and not lose your voice during the journey. You need a strong enough sense of self to be flexible and know when to bend rather than break. You have to intuit what's going to be a good heart-inspired sacrifice for the greater good, and when you will need to stay true to your own voice for the greater good. Only the heart can guide you on these matters, and others may not always agree with your instincts, and vice versa. That is part of the challenge of staying present so that the friction created can be channeled into creative energy rather than lost in emotional turmoil. Please remember that what really matters is that you hear your own voice. Others may or may not be able to receive it. When you hear your own voice, you will be able to connect with your heart truths. You will know when it is right to remain in a group or when you need to withdraw in order to work with others who resonate at a more appropriate vibration and perhaps more in harmony with your own. Not every collaboration will be long-term. Sometimes the learning will be short, sharp, and possibly even painful before it turns into the wisdom that is gained from experience. At other times, the journey will be more loving, supportive, and harmonious. This is neither better nor worse, just different. The oracle comes with particular guidance for you at this phase of your life path and creative journey. You are no longer to think of yourself as the lone wolf. Yes, you have your unique path to tread, but you now have tasks to accomplish for your own growth and the greater good that require more than a one-man band. You will still do your own work, of course. However, others are on the way to help you. There is only so much a single drop of water can do on its own, though it is precious. Together, those drops can become... I don't know why I'm getting emotional with this. Together, those drops can become a wave and make a considerable impact in the world. You are a part of a wave of loving consciousness, and you are meant to be exploring collaborative dreams, healing relationships, and conscious communities. Some connections will be short-lived and perhaps involve some learning experiences that you are hopeful of never needing to repeat. Others will be long-term loves. Either way, you will emerge more of yourself and more in connection with the world that wants your ideas, presence, energy, and light. This oracle brings a message to those of you that are involved in a group and are struggling over whether to continue or to let it go and move on. You are asked to trust your heart and not to allow any group to become more powerful than the wisdom of your own heart. Always allow the sacred rebel within you to question authority. Is it loving and wise authority, or is it coming from a place of fear-based control? Look to your heart's wisdom to discern whether your involvement in a group is healthy or not. Sometimes a group can only receive so much of our energy before it is time to move on. Sometimes a group is not receiving us at all, but we feel that we are meant to be a guiding hand in it for a period of time before our heart urges us to let go. Ask for guidance, do the healing process below, and trust in the feelings that become clear to you over time. You will know what to do, and you must always trust your own voice above any other. The healing process says, imagine a chain of paper dolls, all connected, forming a circle. Imagine that the circular chain of paper dolls can be filled with a beautiful golden light, which begins in the heart of each paper doll. The light shines out and shimmers, making the paper dolls radiant, shining, and golden. Imagine a feeling of love, connection, help, and goodwill shining along with the golden light. Stay with that image or feeling as long as it feels good for you. Then simply open your eyes, and you have completed your healing process. That's really beautiful. I have goosebumps. I have a little bit of time here. Maybe we'll look at softly, softly, tender touch too. I feel like it's also important to this to come at something from a softer approach. The feminine wisdom of gentleness can assist you now. When we are at a point in life where we want to attain greater things but don't necessarily have a proportionately greater supply of energy at our disposal, it is time to work smarter rather than harder. This is the way of the feminine wisdom. However, a cultural ignorance of the feminine way currently prevails. We are generally taught that the more force we use, the more we try to make things happen. The more we will achieve. The feminine way is not about force. That's where the Spider Woman comes in. The spider sits in the web and waits for what it needs to come to it. It doesn't seek. nor is it about driving, striving, pushing, or grabbing at what we can in order to create. It is about inviting what we wish for to come into the space we have provided for it, internally and in our lives. This method cultivates more energy, causes less stress, and attracts what is desired. It is manifestation by invitation, rather than by will or force. There is an old story that the sun and the wind were debating about who was more powerful. After boasting about their prowess, they made a wager. A man walked down the street with a coat on. The wind and the sun decided that whomever could force the coat off the man was the most powerful. The wind began demonstrating its impressive power. It blew and caught underneath the coat, pulling it and nearly ripping it right off the man. But the man wrapped it tighter and tighter around himself. Eventually, perhaps temporarily out of puff, the wind gave up. The sun took over. He shone down, becoming brighter and brighter, until the man slipped off his coat, slung it over his shoulder, and walked down the street, quite possibly wondering what was happening with the weather that day. The wind attempted to do by force what the sun was able to do by being. You are being asked to surrender your forcefulness, your determination, and your intense activity, even if it is just for this moment. Does this mean that you have to surrender the goals you were chasing through those endeavors? Certainly not. This is not about letting go of achievement. It's about understanding the process of manifestation in a more intelligent way. There is a way of creating that gives you energy and doesn't leave you utterly worn out. It is about allowing what you want to come to you. Be yourself, absolutely, naturally, and with ease. Shine your light and allow your presence to invite that which you wish to receive. It is about cultivating an energetic affinity with what you seek, rather than feelings of lack and need. Do you see the subtle but important difference? To feel that you are already a naturally abundant being who gratefully invites more of what you want into your life is rather different to feeling lack, fear, and wishing your world would change. It is a bit like dressing for the job you want, even if it is not yet the job you have. You energetically embody what you wish to attract more of into your life. Like attracts like. This oracle brings you a message. You don't need to push quite so hard to receive what is naturally coming to you. Your push comes from a place of uncertainty over whether or not you will succeed. You need to relax and have more faith in yourself. All things come in time, rightfully and according to a great loving wisdom. You are not immune to this. You shall have your time and shine too. Rebel against any voice of fear within you or around you that tells you otherwise. It is okay to become softer, to feel the energy of what you wish to attract into your life, and to act as much as you can as though it's already that way. You are not fantasizing or daydreaming or failing to live in the quote-unquote real world if you do this. You are actually working with the feminine art of manifestation through gentle beingness and attraction. As you soften into becoming what you are seeking, what you wish for will not be able to resist your shining, inviting presence. This oracle also comes with the special message that you have been working very, very hard. You have learned much and accomplished much, but it is now time to change your approach. Let go of any force in your approach to creation now. Everything serves a purpose, and learning the benefits and limitations of the more forceful way of manifestation through effort and willpower was a useful lesson. However, if you were to continue with that approach, it would stop working for you, because you are now beginning to create on a far grander scale that is beyond what an individual can manifest through willpower alone. You are individually creating through your healing and art, but also contributing globally to new consciousness through your own spiritual growth. You are part of a global healing manifestation process. You are, through your way of being in the world, helping to birth a new awareness. This new way will heal the human heart and bring it back into balance with nature. This is essential for the human soul to survive, flourish, and to cooperatively nurture the earth rather than destroy her natural resources. You may or may not be consciously aware of the extent to which this new way of manifesting through receiving rather than taking can actually help all of humanity, but nonetheless, it is playing an important role in greater human evolution. It is the power of attraction, of magnetism, rather than that of striving and force that will replenish your energy and restore your body, mind, and heart after your struggle. This change in approach will encourage the shift from head to heart that is essential for your individual well-being and for the greater human evolution. You need to heal so that you can help the world to heal. Does this give you absolute permission now in your own mind to take an easier approach to your sacred, rebellious, creative manifestation? Say aloud, I shine like the sun, radiant with grace, and all that I desire comes to me according to perfect timing. I relax, believe, and receive through unconditional love. This is now so. Whew, that was a lot. My goodness gracious. Okay. Let's get you a daily affirmations. Yeah, the bottom of the deck says, I am more than enough. And on the split says, I breathe in love and exhale fear. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. I am not afraid to step into the edges of my comfort zone. Yeah, it's definitely going to take a step out of the comfort zone. I am always provided for. How I feel is okay. I don't need to explain it. Let's get you guys an abundance oracle and then that'll be it. If you guys found this message helpful or insightful or anything, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. I'd love to see the comments. I like reading the comments. So if you guys feel like you want to share what's going on, and I'd love to hear about it. If this resonated with you. Okay. Goodness gracious. My soul has always been abundant. I remember and claim that abundance now. It is safe to dream of, expect, and receive astronomical amounts of money. I live in a reality of overflowing riches. Okay, y'all. That's all I got for you tonight. Yeah. I love you, and I'll see you guys next time.